Hi, it's Elise here at Bowman Library with a whole new teen book spotlight. So this week we are getting into the spirit of the season here a little bit because we are going to explore some spooky, scary books. Now, here's something I have come to really appreciate about books that are, quote, spooky, scary, horror, okay? Because if you're like me, my initial assumption, my initial place I go to is like scary, bloody, things popping out at me, and I don't like that type of stuff. But that is not what like spooky scary has to be. And we have 6 amazing books I'm going to share with you here that are each spooky scary in their own way. From some psychological stuff to some murder stuff in there. I think we even got some witches in here maybe somewhere, okay? But spooky doesn't have to be things jumping out at you. You could be on the edge of your seat with 0 blood. I can promise you that, okay? So we have 6 spooky, scary books we're going to take a look at. So let's get started. Some of these are some of my favorites. I cannot wait to share them with you, okay? This first one of my favorites from this year, okay? Even though it came out last year towards the end, read it this year. Love this one. It's by Lamar Giles. I mean, like, an amazing Virginia author. You know you're in for a treat, okay? So, The Getaway. Jay feels incredibly lucky to be living on this mountaintop in Virginia as being employed by a group called by Karloff Country. Now, this is a resort destination, almost like a Disney World-esque, for the wealthy of the United States. Now, things are not going well for the rest of America, though. Climate change has led to fires, there's famine, there's floods, and then there's so much instability, especially politically, that it's like a powder keg just waiting to go off. Life for Jay, though, living on this mountain is stable. But that starts to change when the forces from the outside start to seep in, leading to lockdowns and Jay's friend Connie disappearing out of the blue. As Jay starts to unravel what is going on both outside and inside Karloff Country, people's true colors start to show themselves, and Jay finds himself in a situation where he is not only judged and treated differently because of the color of his skin, but also because he is an employee. That is when he and his friends decide they are going to do something about it. Now, this unique take on the end of the world in the apocalypse is one that's part thriller, part horror, part tackling social issues in the amazing way Lamar Giles only can. Again, one of my favorite reads from this year, The Getaway. Alone. Oh, this one. Oh, if you like a slap you in your face ending, oh yeah, this one right here, okay? So Sita and her younger brother and sisters are stuck in this dilapidated mansion that her mother plans to renovate in the middle of nowhere. Okay. It used to be a murder mystery weekend house, so there's all sorts of weird props that are in and around the house, but Sita is convinced the house is actually haunted. One evening, a group of teenagers become stranded on the property as they are stuck in a blizzard, and Sita is ready to make friends. This is her first chance to meet people that are not her brothers and sisters, okay, in a really long time. Sita, though, her mother, decides that since there are actually guests at the house, why not turn this into a murder mystery scavenger hunt style party that will allow everyone to explore the house. That is when things start to get out of control. People start turning up actually dead. And that means there is someone at the house who is a killer. Now, this ending, again, will leave you speechless. You'll be like, did that honestly really just happen? Oh yes, it does, okay? If you want an ultra spooky, suspenseful thriller, oh, this is the one for you. Loved this one. Stick with it. I will tell you, it does start a little slow, but it totally pays off. Alone. Hell Followed With Us by another Virginia author, a local author, in fact, Andrew Joseph White. In our story here, we meet 16-year-old Benji. He is grown up in a group called the Angels. Basically, it's this religious cult which unleashed a virus on the world a few years previous to our story beginning, and it's caused what is now called the apocalypse. It is this virus that has turned people into monsters, and Benji is their final living bioweapon. But things change quickly when Benji decides he has had enough and takes off. He runs away. Being chased by the angels who do not want to let him go, he finds himself on the lam until he is rescued by Nick and his group of friends, who are all part of this group, this organization, which lives together at the Pennsylvania Atchison LGBTQ plus Center. And Benji soon finds himself banding together with this resistance group, but they have a request of him. They expect him to use his monstrous powers to fight the angels, the only family he's ever really known. Now, Benji soon starts to realize that there are secrets and hidden agendas at play, and he is not sure who to trust and what is actually going to happen in the end. This fast-paced, adventure-filled dystopian part horror is one that you will not be able to put down until it is time to close the back cover, because you have finished the whole story. Andrew Joseph White has a new book that just came out a few weeks ago. An amazing one as well. Hell Followed With Us. Hold Back the Tide. One of my faves from last year. Okay, and I'll be completely honest with you, okay? This is a book I normally would not pick up or read on my own, okay? But I had to for a reason. Just like how sometimes you have to read stuff, I had to read this one. OMG. So glad I did. I could not wait to share this book with you, okay? Now, Alba is 16 years old. She lives with her father in the Scottish Highlands. Now, her father is the lock keeper, okay? It is his responsibility to make sure the water level that's in the lake, or loch as it's called in Scotland, doesn't drop too low. Because if it drops too low, that means the paper mill downstream won't be able to operate, okay? Alba's had a tenuous relationship with her father, and this is not a spoiler because you find out like in the first chapter, okay, that he has murdered her mother 7 years earlier. The only reason why he's not like in jail for it is there wasn't enough evidence to prove he actually did it, okay? Now, hoping to make her escape from her father, she finds a job in another town and is preparing to run away. But Alba starts to notice that something strange is going on. The water level in the lake is starting to drop. For some reason, her father is not saying anything to the town members. And then her father will just disappear at night, and there are these weird screams that are happening. And her dad just comes back at dawn, okay? There's some weird stuff going on. She has no idea, but she's just counting down the days till she can leave. On the evening, though, that before she is supposed to leave, Alba heads into town to celebrate with her friends. There's a festival going on, but when she arrives back home, she is faced with something she never could have imagined, okay? And this is going to change everything, okay? If you love horror, if you love fantasy, action, adventure, mystery, this is a must read. Okay, love this one. Couldn't put it down. It's one of the few books I've actually read where I kind of wish there was a movie made out of it. And that usually doesn't happen when I read a book. This one, it did. Hold Back the Tide. All these bodies. Okay, so it's the summer of 1958. Michael Jensen wants to be a journalist, but nothing happens in his small Minnesota town. Instead, he finds his excitement by reading about a serial killer who is murdering individuals, 12 in total to be in fact, across the Midwest. Okay, so not only does he murder him though, but, okay, he also then drains their bodies of all their blood. Gross, right? Then the unthinkable happens, and a family in his small town is found murdered the same way that these bodies have been found. And in the next room in the house from where their bodies are, there was a 15-year-old girl whose name is Marie Catherine Hale. She is covered in blood, okay, does not belong to the family, and the only person she will talk to, she will tell her story to, is Michael. Now, as she starts to talk, Michael cannot help but wonder what is the truth and what she could actually be making up. And it's going to be up to him to piece the truth together before someone else is murdered, okay? Now, this is based on true stories from murder from the 1950s in the Midwest, okay? This one will keep you on the edge of your seats. If you like a good horror that's mixed in with quite a bit of mystery and has some psychological aspects to it, all these bodies. Our last one is White Smoke by the incredible Tiffany D. Jackson. Amazing awesomeness, okay? So Marigold Anderson finds herself moving from California to a Midwestern town called Cedarville. She does not want to be making this move, but she knows she is the one to blame for this to be happening, okay? She's kicked out of her high school in California for drug use. She's been sent to rehab, so the financial cost has drained her family. This is the only way her mother has been able to get a job out there. The house, they're getting to live there rent-free. There's been emotional tolls on her blended family, so this is what the deal is. Now, the new house has some strange goings on, though, okay? There's some strange noises and some smells, okay? And that kind of starts it off. Then, Marigold can't help but notice that there's doors opening on their own, there's objects disappearing, and when they tell people where they live, everyone seems to know about some sort of secret with the house and where it is. But no, everyone knows this secret except Marigold and her family. As she tries to figure out what is truly going on in the house, why are people acting so weird about all of this, Marigold finds herself trying not to relapse, trying not to give in to her anxiety, and things then get even weirder when her younger stepsister, Piper, has this new imaginary best friend. And I will tell you right now, this best friend is not pleasant best friend. It is an evil imaginary best friend, okay? This slow burn psychological horror story that's a little more of a traditional one compared to some of the others we've looked at is one, though, that runs deeper than your typical creepy read, okay? If you've read Tiffany D. Jackson, you know you're in for a treat. This is White Smoke. So these are 6 of the scary, spooky reads we have here at the library. And again, keep in mind, none of them are necessarily blood, guts, in your face type deal, okay? So, spooky can mean a whole bunch of different things. And there are spooky for everyone, I can promise you that. So I encourage you to come on out, check out one of these, or we're here to help you find whatever that spooky read is you're looking for. I hope you have an amazing week, and I hope you tune back next time for a whole new Teen Book Spotlight.